channel. If you guys are new, welcome to the family. My name is Dina. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I love you guys. Today I'm going to share with you how I made my wish in a bottle manifestation jar spell. Now this is something that you can do to manifest anything that you're looking for, whether it is a new job, whether it is your dream house, your dream vacation. Honestly, you can use it to manifest anything that you desire in your life. Now before I get into the actual spell, I kind of want to talk about the before process of the spell. And I don't talk about this a lot. A lot of my videos get straight to the point. They talk about how to make the jar, just like show me putting the intention into the items and stuff, but they don't really talk about the beforehand stuff. And I know a lot of people are like, I want information quick, fast, and no one has patience anymore in this world. The before process is actually like super duper important, and I kind of want to share that with you guys a little bit more. And what I am talking about is raising energy. Raising energy before a spell is super duper important because it is your energy, it is your intention that creates the magic. So you can't just throw a bunch of things in a jar and expect to do something. You have to work with your own energy. So if you guys are interested in how to raise energy, I actually created a video on that. So I will leave it linked below for you guys and also at the end of this video. But specifically for this video, I decided to get super duper personal, put some stuff in this video that's probably super embarrassing and most people would not show on the internet, but I thought it would be really important to share with you my process and how I raise energy and something that's really important for me. So there's so many different ways to raise energy, but for this one, I raised energy through movement and dance. So the first thing I started with is shaking, and I may look like a crazy person. I don't care. I put some music on, I closed my door. I told my family, like, leave me alone. I'm in my zone. I'm doing something for YouTube. Just like, give me some time alone. And I just shook. And the reason I did this is because it is a really good movement exercise to release anything negative. So I released any sort of limiting beliefs about myself, about my dreams, my abilities, my capabilities of reaching them, of manifesting these things. I released any sort of negative ideas about myself, doubts, just anything that needed to let go. Even if it's negative energy that you picked up on throughout the day from somebody else, it's a good opportunity just to shake and just release it all. So this is a really cool exercise you can do. Just put some music on, anything that you feel called to, and just shake. So I did this, and then I moved into more of movement and dance. And while I'm flowing, I'm thinking about all these things flowing to me, all my dreams manifesting. I am visualizing what my life is like when I have this thing that I want, when I have manifested my deepest desires and dreams. How do I feel? I am embodying this, and I'm getting into my body and moving while I am visualizing this. So this is a very important exercise in my whole manifestation magic process. It's definitely something that you can just do on its own too if you are interested, but this is such a beautiful way to raise energy before a spell, especially a manifestation spell, because when you're manifesting something in your life, you need to have that high vibrational positive energy. If you are low, if you're heavy, if you're carrying all these negative beliefs and limiting ideas about yourself and what you can do, then it's going to affect the spell. It's not going to work the same way. So it's super important to prep yourself. I don't know, it doesn't matter. All that matters is it works for you. So make sure you take some time to reflect on that. Spells are meant to be personal. So after I raised energy, I set up my altar space, and I wanted to use a lot of like just crystal energy in my space because the jar that I chose actually didn't have enough space for the crystals that I wanted. I'll tell you what I had planned to put in there, but I just couldn't fit it in the jar. So you can pick a larger jar. I just was out of larger jars at the moment, so I didn't. Instead, I'm like, okay, let's just surround my space with crystals. We'll get that crystal energy. That's okay. I could just use like the other ingredients that I had planned to put in there anyways. But make sure you have a sacred space that you're comfortable in, that has a good vibe, a good energy. I decided to light some candles. I had just like one regular tea light candle going, but I also had a gold candle that I just picked up at my local spiritual shop the other day. I chose gold specifically because it's just like such a powerful, luxurious color, which is kind of like what I'm going for. My dreams are just like the biggest dreams ever, and sometimes I think I'm crazy for wanting them, and sometimes I'm like, okay, Dina, just like settle, like chill out, you know, because that's what the world tells us to. The world tells us just get a normal job, don't do anything too crazy, like no one actually gets successful doing that, blah 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 blah. Like the world is filled with all these negative stories and stuff. I want a crazy, amazing, exciting life. Like I want to go for the things that most people don't go for. That is who I am, and gold just really embodied that energy for me, and I just thought it was like the perfect color. So I decided to light that candle specifically for that intention. But you don't have to choose a gold candle. Like, by all means, use whatever candles you want. If you don't want to use a candle, you don't have to use a candle. But that is why I chose to use that candle in particular. I also decided to pull a couple of cards. Now, this is not something that I always do, but sometimes I just feel like I need to tap into the energy I'm working with and just see what the cards say, and I like to keep that with me. So I did pull a couple of cards. I really liked the energy that they kind of portrayed and what they meant and symbolized, and I'm like, okay, let's like keep this on my altar space for now. You don't have to do this. Again, these are the little things that I like to do to make my space feel a little bit more ready for my spell. I also did a smoke cleanse of the jar. I wrote out my wish, my manifestation. That's the whole point of it. It is a wish in a bottle, so you gotta write down your wish. So I actually cut the paper in a nice thin size that was easy for me to roll up and stick into the jar. So take some time, really put some thought into it. Like, don't rush this part, be specific. Tell the universe exactly what you want. Like, what is your deepest desire? Or it doesn't have to be your deepest desire. You honestly can use this for anything, but like, what are you trying to manifest? Be specific about that. And instead of saying, can I have, or I hope that I have, or I wish I have, I recommend writing it in like present tense, like you already have it, or write it like it's already on its way to you. That is what I did. It is one of the most popular parts of manifestation that like anybody who manifests will tell you, is to pretend that you're already living it, or pretend that it's already like it's on its way to you right now. Like, you're expecting it to come. There's no doubts there. Try and work with that kind of energy and see how that works for you. The next ingredient that I added in was nutmeg, and for each herb, everything that you add to this jar, make sure you're taking some time to sit with it and put some intention into it. Understand why you're using the ingredient. Don't just use it because I told you and that's what the ingredients in the video told you. Like, oh, Dina used nutmeg, so let's just throw in some nutmeg. Like, no, that's not gonna work. That's not how magic works. You have to understand why you're using it. But I specifically chose nutmeg because it is, one, good for psychic enhancement. I definitely used a lot of like ingredients in this spell that help with intuition as well, because I feel like the more I get connected to my intuition and my higher self and just like understanding myself on this soul level, I feel like the easier it is going to be to manifest and also see the signs and signals and synchronicities that are happening around me that are going to help me manifest better, if that makes any sense. So nutmeg is good for that. It's also good for trust, and trust is a big word that keeps coming up for me. I have to have more trust in myself and trust in the universe and trust that everything's gonna work out and trust that like I've made other things manifest in my life. Like, I have manifested things that I didn't think I was going to, and I did it. So that is why I used the nutmeg. So after I put that in, then I stuck in the piece of paper with my manifestation, my wish on it. Then I proceeded to add the other ingredients. So the next thing that I added was ginger. Ginger is a really great spice, or I guess it is a spice, right? No, it's a root. It's a root. Ginger root is known for success as a correspondence in magic, and obviously we want some success. I want success in all my manifestations, and that is what I'm trying to attract. So that is why I use ginger. I also added one little leaf of mint, fresh mint from our plant, and mint is good specifically for success and money. So again, that, you know, abundant energy that I am going for. I also chose allspice. Allspice is really good for good luck and drawing in money. My manifestations, the things that I'm trying to bring into my life, which I'm not going to get super specific about all the things that I'm trying to manifest because it's nice to keep some things personal, but my manifestations do involve money. Like, if I don't have money and prosperity, then these things are a little bit more difficult to manifest, at least some of them. So it's important to have like prosperity. So I decided a spice that has that attraction for money and good luck is just like a really good thing to add in there. So that's why I chose the allspice. And then cinnamon's also a really good spice for success. I also just love using cinnamon for like confidence because it has that like that heat, that energy of just like taking action. It's that fiery energy. And when I think of the fiery energy, I think of the wands and the tarot. And when I think of that, I think of creative energy and just taking action on your creative dreams. And there's like a whole bunch to to it, and that's what it means to me. But yeah, that's the main reason. And then also it is a spell amplifier. Cinnamon's often used in many spells just to amplify the energy of the spell. So even if you're not specifically using it for success or whatever it is a good spell amplifier. Now there were a couple crystals that I had planned to stick in the jar, but then I realized they do not fit in the jar, so I couldn't put them in there. But if you guys have a larger jar or you have a smaller crystal, I'll let you know what I was planning to put in there for crystals if you want to do that. So I had planned to put in some angel aura. Angel aura is really good for connecting to the divine, your angels. It's a good crystal that is symbolic of freedom. It's good for your crown chakra, eliminating blockages. It's also really good for realigning your purpose and your dreams. It's just that like divine connection. It helps you to just like align yourself with what you're meant to do and what lights you up and makes you happy, and you know, stay focused on that and just feel free in your life. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful crystal for all those energies. So I was gonna do that. I also was going to add blue lace agate. I had a tiny piece and I thought it was gonna fit, but it was not tiny enough. But it's also good for the crown chakra, also the throat and the heart. So the way I saw it was the crown is like your connection to the divine, your higher self, your purpose, all of that. Your, you know, your throat is symbolic of, you know, speaking your truth, speaking your mind, not being afraid to stand up for what you love and go for what you want. It's that like that courage, that just to speak up and be who you are. And then also the heart, you know, following your heart, following your dreams, what makes you feel good, you know, really listening to your heart and doing things not just based on if you think it's okay, but does it feel right. And that is why I'm just like, oh, blue lace agate would have been perfect. The heart, the throat, and the crown, it's just like that perfect combination of energy. So that is why I was going to do that, and I think I probably will do a new jar in the future that's bigger so I can fit all those things in for myself anyways. I probably don't need to make another video. You guys get the point. You know, when you're done, the jar, you can seal it with the wax. I actually thought the wax was gonna be gold, so I was like, yay, let's get a gold candle and it'll be gold wax, but it actually just poured out white. So it was the first time I've used a gold candle. I think it's just like a metal layer. We'll see when the candle's done, but I think it's just like a metal layer that just like comes off after, but it's not like the actual color of the wax. So I was a little disappointed. I thought the wax was gonna be pretty in gold, but it's just regular wax, but that's okay. I decided to spruce it up. I have this little charm that has an angel on one side and it has prosperity on the other, and I decided to push that into the top of the wax so that prosperity is, you know, engraved into the wax. Now obviously it's backwards because it's written forwards on the piece of metal, but that's okay. Like I felt like it still had the same energy. I took some time to, you know, put my intention with the jar, meditate on it. I decided to keep it on my money tree just because that money tree is like good luck and it's supposed to bring in prosperity and your wishes and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, I feel like it would be the perfect spot for my jar is to put it in the pot of my money tree. So that's what I chose to do, but you guys can put it wherever you want. Keep it in your purse or your bag when you go out. You can keep it on your bedside table. You can keep it on your office desk for work. Honestly, whatever works for you guys. I often have people ask me like, what do I do with my spell jar after I've made it? Like, what do I do with this thing now that I've got it? And that's a good question. Like, you've made it, now what? And what I say is like, you want that energy with you. So keep it with you wherever you are. Like, keep it somewhere where you're gonna see it and it's gonna remind you like, I am bringing in these manifestations. Things are gonna happen for me. Yeah, and when the time comes, you might feel like the energy is no longer there. People wonder like, how long does it last? And it's really hard to teach that to people. Like, you can't really teach that to anyone. It's more of like an intuitive feeling. Like, I'll either like look at something and like I don't feel any energy coming from it anymore. I'll just feel like it's done. Like, I don't feel any energy. I don't feel like it's working anymore. So I need to dispose of it and make a new one. Another telltale sign that it is expired and you need to make a new one is if it stops working. I can tell you guys for a fact that I need to make myself a new dream bag because it's just not working anymore. And when I made it fresh, it was working for me every single night. So that is an obvious one. You know, when something's specifically supposed to do something and you're like, okay, it's not doing it anymore, then it's time to refresh it, make a new one. When it comes to disposing of your jar, you can often bury your ingredients. Some people like to bury things outside. If you're gonna do that though, please make sure that they're not toxic to the environment. If you have salt in some sort of spell, like not this one in particular, but I've done other spell jars that do contain salt, and pouring salt into the earth is actually really bad for the organisms and the balance of the soil and everything like that. It's not good to pour salt on the ground or bury it in the ground, so make sure you're not doing that. But for this one, I'm trying to think of what's everything that's in there. Yeah, for this one, you could bury basically everything in the jar. I wouldn't bury the jar itself because it's plastic, at least mine is, so like it's probably best not to bury the actual jar, but you could empty the contents and bury it in the ground once you're done with it if you want. Sometimes, depending on the ingredients, like my self-love jar spell, I'll link that video for you guys if you haven't seen it before, but that is like the perfect combination of ingredients that you can use for a bath. So usually when I'm ready to like get rid of it, I'll just dump it in the bath with me and I'll enjoy the ingredients before it's done. But yeah, those are basically some things that you can do. I'm sure there's like so many other ways of like using your jar or disposing of it. Obviously you could just throw the stuff in the garbage too. All my jars I reuse though, so I will remove the ingredients, clean it out, remove the wax on the jar, that kind of thing, and then I will reuse it. I just like cleanse it again the next time I use it. Anyways guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you enjoyed this spell, and I hope that all my chat helped you in some way, because there's definitely a lot of questions that I get on my other spell videos, and I thought that this would be a good opportunity to address those and just really help you guys in your practice. And I got a little bit worried about talking too much in videos because everybody's like, I want things fast, you talk too much, get to the point, blah blah blah, and people are like that. But you know what, at the end of the day, like if I put something out really quick and rush, it's not gonna help you guys any. It's not gonna teach you the things that you need to know, and a lot of questions go unanswered. So I hope that you found this video informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up to let me know that you do enjoy this content, and comment below what you enjoyed about this spell if there's any questions that you have. And don't forget to subscribe guys, I would really appreciate it, and you don't want to miss out on the videos that I post every single week. I also have a playlist called Grimoire, and it has a whole bunch of other spells and videos to help you during your spells and rituals. So make sure you guys check that out. I'll link it somewhere on the screen for you guys to see. I hope you guys have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye.